Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. I am your host, Sam Whitfield, broadcasting live here from NGC Studios, and I want to thank you so very much for joining me tonight, wherever you are in the past, present, future hour, and I am sorry for the late start. It seems that Streamlabs is acting up, doesn't want to load for me for some reasons. Um, so I'm having to use the old Ecamm Live app on my computer, which actually, in terms of um, compatibility, runs a little bit better than Streamlabs does. I don't know why, but it just always has. It doesn't run. Uh, it doesn't kick up my fan like Streamlabs does. So Ecamm is a bit better. You just don't have all the fancy bells and whistles. It's a lot more stripped down, as they say. Yeah, and also the countdown timer. Yeah, it does go back to 5 minutes unless I manually switch it over. So there is that. But anyway, I want to thank you for joining me tonight, as I mentioned. And we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. First off, shout out in the chat to, mainly just Chuck has showed up. Nevertheless, I appreciate you showing up, Chuck, and hopefully some of our friends show up later on in the program. I don't know if Apex is going to be on tonight or not. The Midwest is, kind of in a bit of a snowstorm right now, as I imagine you are, Chuck, in your own, part of the country over there in Jersey. And it is actually even cold here in Florida. It's only going to be 34 tomorrow. So, and that'll be the high. So yes, this is a sweatshirt that you're seeing me wearing with my school logo on it, and I actually have a hoodie here as well. Let me see. It's on this. Yep, here it is. It's on the side of me. So there you go. You're seeing me in a hoodie for, I think, the first time ever, at least on this show. Visually, at least. But anyway, let's get into some shit, shall we? Okay. And good evening to Mr. Whiskey as well. Everyone hit that like button, and let's get this show on the road. Okay. So, what do we have here? Let's see. So, in the news this week, the Ottawa protest over the COVID-19 pandemic, that's been pretty hot. So, I went and scoured the news sites to see kind of had the best take on it, and the Wall Street Journal, in my opinion, did the with that. So, anyway, here's the headline from our friends at the Wall Street Journal. Protesters rally in Ottawa to demand end to Canada's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. And let's see. From Ottawa, tens of thousands of protesters gathered Saturday outside Canada's main parliament buildings, clogging main arteries in the capital's downtown, as they demanded Prime Minister Justin Trudeau rescind all economic restrictions and vaccine mandates tied to the COVID-19 pandemic. The protesters, organized by a group of truck drivers from across the country, have vowed to remain in central Ottawa until Mr. Trudeau abandons restrictions. Well, guys, in my opinion, you might be waiting a long ass time for that then, if that's the case. The main organizers, a group called Freedom Convoy 22, said Mr. Trudeau and his Liberal government policies crossed a line by imposing this month a vaccine mandate on Canadian truckers who ferry goods across the U.S.-Canadian border. On Saturday, the main east-west street in front of the Canadian legislature was clogged with heavy-duty trucks. Drivers in their parked trucks blared air horns. Let's see. Yeah, kind of like that. While protesters marched about carrying signs saying F Trudeau and the mandates and COVID doesn't scare me. Global tyranny does, eh? Some people carried on poster sized replicas of Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms, or the equivalent of the U.S. Bill of Rights. Crowds wandered about downtown Ottawa despite temperatures Saturday afternoon that ranged from 0 to 7 degrees Fahrenheit. Damn. I came for freedom of choice, said Bogdan Delruhu, who has worked as a truck driver for the past 17 years, based in Montreal. He said he is fully vaccinated, but nonetheless angry with the rules imposed by the Canadian and regional governments to contain the spread of COVID-19. Quote, you can't stop people from working and taking care of their family and everything just because of the vaccines and stuff. Exactly. Let's see. Continuing on. Let's see. Protesters gathered in front of the building. Okay, blah, blah, blah. We kind of covered that. Mr. Trudeau this week described the protesters expected to arrive in Ottawa as a small, fringe minority of people who hold unacceptable views that do not represent the views of Canadians who have been there for each other during the pandemic. Wow, what a fucking dick. Truckers and their supporters in Western Canada organized the weekend protest after the Liberal government said that effective January 15th, U.S. and other foreign truckers are banned from entering Canada unless they are fully vaccinated. Canada will require unvaccinated truck drivers to show a negative molecular COVID-19 test taken 72 hours. Okay, so it's basically the same shit they have here. And they are required. Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically the same shit they have here. Okay. And yeah. Okay, they'll be peaceful. They're not gonna do anything. Hey, Davey, thanks for hopping in, and yeah, I will check those out. We are prepared to stay here as long as they. Okay, so the group seems pretty peaceful. Nothing really surprising there. Here's the meat. The Canadian Trucking Alliance, a lobby group for the sector, has expressed concern about the vaccine mandate targeting truckers, arguing it could further disrupt an already frail logistics network. Well, yeah, no shit. We know that. On Saturday, the alliance issued a statement arguing the majority of protesters in Ottawa have no ties to the trucking industry and are there to pursue their own agenda. Well, that's what they say. And by the way, you know, Whiskey is the one who can tell him what to do. And if he tells me to do something insane, well then I'll do something that even he doesn't expect. I will steal Mrs. Whiskey from him. That's insane. How do you like that? How do you like them apples? Sammy do a pirouette. I'm not going to do a pirouette ray on stream. I don't even have like another chair to puree too. Let's see. I'd like to see Justin Trudeau do a pirouette. Okay. So basically, let me kind of. So basically, Trudeau is saying that like the vast majority of these people aren't involved in the trucking industry and therefore have no rights to speak. So yeah. Well, we'll see how this goes. You know, I hope Trudeau likes seeing all these pickups you know, parked outside the Capitol. Now, if it were me, everyone would be tailgating in front of the Capitol. No, you heard me. You heard me, fellow. You heard me. I'm going to steal you from I'm gonna steal you from Mr. Whiskey. Actually, you want to know what a plot twist would be? A plot twist would be if I stole Mr. Whiskey from you. That'd be a pretty insane plot twist. Especially since I'm not gay. Except for Johnny Arcade. But he's not, you know, he's not here anymore. So I guess Whiskey will have to do in that case. But yeah, Trudeau is acting like I would say he's acting like a Canadian faggot, but I guess now you know, some Canadians are growing stones. And alright, let me go to... Let me change my camera view here real quick. And let me see what Dave sent me in Discord. I want I want to make sure this is something that isn't going to get me popped on Discord. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this will. Okay. So, let me see here. So, this is the account of the trucking group. Damn it! I hate when Twitter tries to autoplay stuff. Hopefully this will come through.
Support of Ukraine in this current crisis with Russia. I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, but perhaps even instigating it from the outset. Given Canada's support of Ukraine in this current crisis with Russia, I don't know if it's far-fetched to ask, but there is concern that Russian actors could be continuing to fuel things as this protest grows, but perhaps even instigating it from the outset.
Okay, hold up a sec. So Russia is getting blamed for this too, then, huh? Now, folks, where have we heard this before? Oh, it's Russia. It's Russia. It's all Russia's fault. Where have we heard this narrative before? I wonder. Because I'm old enough to remember when Hillary Clinton lost the election, and here in America, and instead of people admitting that Hillary Clinton sucked so bad that a reality TV star beat her ass in the election, rather than admitting that, oh, it must have been a Russian conspiracy theory, eh? The Russians must have been behind it. So, I hate to use this terminology, but are Russians the left-wing equivalent of Jews, basically? And what I mean by that is, right, anti-Semites blame Jews for everything, right? Like, if it rains, it's the Jews' fault. If you're an anti-Semite. Now, it seems that if you're, on the left, and I suppose even some right-wing people do this, anything that goes wrong, it's automatically the Russians' fault. Because, for some reason, they missed the memo that the Cold War ended in 1990. Technically 89, but let's not split hairs here. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, suppose that were true though. All right. Let's say that the CBC is right. What possible motive would the Russians have for setting up this protest exactly? If anything, the Russians would have more to benefit from the COVID mandates, I would think. But, so what's the reasoning? Just asking. Let's see. Okay, Chuck in the chat says, let me add this to the broadcast. Let me see here. Chuck says, I'm drinking Valerian root tea for the first time. Smells like cheesy feet. Well, cheers to you, Chuck, for drinking Valerian root tea. I hope your tooth feels better. I am drinking. I'm sure you can kind of tell the can I'm drinking. I am drinking Yingling tonight. Which, honestly, I do want to address that real quick, just kind of going off on a side tangent. I've gotten some crap from some of the listeners. I have found out that some of the listeners find it strange I drink Yingling as opposed to Coors Draft, since I'm from Colorado. But here's the thing, folks. Coors Draft is very hard to find here in Florida. I can only find it like seasonally, and even then it's tough to find. And I sure as hell am not drinking Coors Light, because light beer just tastes like piss water, always. So yeah, now that does suck, Chuck, that it smelled like cheesy feet, but hopefully it helps you feel better. So, and you're drinking Valerian root tea as opposed. Well, I suppose drinking Valerian steel would not be a good idea. Little Game of Thrones reference. Johnny Arcade comes in and says, I quit drinking when I found out you drink jizz. No, Johnny, that's not me. That's Mersh that does that, Johnny. And by the way, we will be getting to Mr. GoFundMe here. So that's the Russia news. Or no, that's the Canadian news as far as the truckers are concerned. Now, I did promise that we would cover this. So, let me go find the tweet here. And by the way, everyone subscribe to John Arcade. Everyone subscribe to Risky Whiskey Runner 1. Oh, apparently, that's the other thing I want to address. Apparently, some of my detractors, some of the more autistic detractors out there, who just spurring out in the comments, they think that I'm some sort of crypto streamer. Now, I want to make something clear, folks. I am not a crypto streamer. I know very little about crypto. I am more or less a dumbass when it comes to crypto. The one that you need to go to find out stuff about crypto, if you're into that shit, is in fact Whiskey Runner 1 here. But yeah, Johnny goes, don't subscribe to my channel, there's nothing there for you. I don't know, Johnny. There might not be a lot there for the general public, but there is a lot there for me personally. I do know that. But let me see. I had this bookmarked in my Twitter feed here. Actually, you know what? It would be easier to go over this via Apex's YouTube channel. Why? Because it just would be. Okay. Okay. What the hell does Apex have on his timeline? I'm not gonna show you Apex's timeline on Twitter just because I don't want you guys to point and laugh at all the stuff that comes out. But oh good God. Okay, I think I can get here. So a lot of you guys know, and Johnny, that's a good question. I don't know where my gay co-host is. My guess is he's either he is either drunk or he is banging a stuffed burrito. And by banging a stuffed burrito, I mean that's not a racial euphemism. I mean I think he's literally banging a burrito at this point. I think he probably has a tortilla that is wrapped up and is, has meat in it, and I think he's probably put his small peen into the tortilla and is and is having fun with it because that's what gamblers do apparently. And right as I start to make that joke, Sweet Innocent Saucin comes into the chat. So good evening, ma'am. But nonetheless, speaking of degenerates, Ethan Ralph, apparently, got beat up in Portugal. I guess he went to Ethan Ralph's house. Or no. I guess Ethan Ralph went to Portugal to, to beat up Andy Worski's sister. And apparently he had a run-in with the Portuguese mob, or maybe it was just like a random group of Portuguese guys. I'm not sure. But, nevertheless, this shit was the result of Ethan deciding to go to Portugal. And people have been making memes about it all week. And, this one might be my favorite. I mean, I've seen a bunch of good ones, though. Let's see, there are these ones, and for those listening on audio, yeah. Google Ethan Ralph and you'll see a guy that looks like he just went through a car wreck. And Johnny says when Apex puts his when he puts his dick in the burrito and squeezes beans out the other side, like one of those plated squishy things. Yeah, you're probably right, about that, Johnny. Like I said, I don't know where my degenerate host is. Is he even in the Discord? Yeah, let me check real quick. I don't think so. I do not think so. Nope, no Apex. And I did DM him, Whiskey, in case you're curious. I set up the stream schedule early and, let him know what, I did let him know what was going on and, never back from him. But, anyway. Yeah, for the Ethan Ralph stuff, though, what is the Gamma going to say other than what I'm going to say? Other than that Ethan is also pathetic. So, yeah. And I guess this was Ethan, like, before he got mugged. In Portugal. Good God, man. He really is short and fat. And also, it's 2022. Why do all these streamers have, like, cameras that look like, 480p quality? Just why? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, and I am leaving Johnny's comment pinned to the stream for a bit. Just because it's so good. But anyway, yeah, speedy recovery to the Gunt. Maybe he's learned a lesson in this. Maybe he. I doubt that he has. I doubt that he has, though. I highly doubt it. Doesn't seem like it. At all. But again, this is what happens. Oh, and also apparently he was looking for hookers. In Lisbon too. Whiskey says, "Look at those titties." Yeah, man. What can I say? Ethan has moobs. He has he has. Not only does he have moobs, he has like moobs. Massive man titties. Let's see. Yep, and yeah, here's the best Warski meme. Yeah, I guess this is what happens when you go to beat up some guy's sister in another country, eh? So, and yes, also if we scroll down, Apex has doggo memes too. But anyway, speaking of Gunts though, let's move to Gunt Jr. And by the way, hello Larry. It was 35. Larry says it was 35 degrees in my trailer. this morning because I ran out of propane, but the truck came today. Yay. Well, we're all going through a tough winter, Larry. I guess that's the case. Alright, more info though on Gunt Jr., aka Mersh. As many of you know, Porcelain is working on the Mersh documentary, and from what I've heard, it's going to be about a 3-hour documentary in total, which I believe is the longest documentary that anyone has ever had. But anyway, let's see here. Okay, so apparently, as part of this documentary, Mr. Medical will be featured heavily in the documentary, and I guess Porcelain had a 6-hour chat with him today, and I retweeted this, and a few people have seen it, but for those who aren't fully aware of who Mersh is, just like Whiskey, I know he knows a little bit of who Mersh is, but basically, Mr. Whiskey, just think of Mersh as Gunt Jr. at this point. Only, he's just as weird and just as retarded. The only difference is Mersh is also gay, and I'm not sure that Ralph is. But anyway, so apparently Mersh had like a couple GoFundMes, and Jim, Mr. Medica, was actually talking about that with Porcelain, because I guess Mersh has been beefing with Mr. Medica lately too, which is not the smartest thing to do, because Mersh thinks that Jim has fake cancer. Well, this ought to be good. And, yeah. Also, hey, Chuck, remember how Mersh was, talking shit about you having to GoFundMes? In less than a year? Well, I'm glad to say, Chuck, that, karma's a bitch. At least in Mersh's case. So here's a small excerpt of Porcelain's conversation with Mr. Medica. This ought to be good.
Okay, so again, the next one's gonna be even
No, he didn't! Come on!
a second GoFundMe called
Shit
GoFundMe.
keeps getting worse and worse. I'm just a fuck up, aren't I?
GoFundMe/I'm stupid.
Please tell me nobody gave him money. Please tell me that sat at 0. How? And why is it 3 times the amount of the first one? Yep, you know what happened, blah, blah. Is that really the fucking description he wrote?
Yes. That's not
Shameless
even...
motherfucker. Thanks for your charity, faggots. Do it again. Hey, you stupid motherfuckers. Give me more money. I'm going to drive it into a wall.
My favourite bit is called, before we go there.
Suicide watch. You Tumblr bitch. What the fuck? You could have one-of-a-kind wristband for the medical unit where I was on suicide watch. Oh, God, he has no shame, does he? Holy shit, that's a teenage girl. Oh, okay, so let me piece this together. He spends 3 fucking weeks spamming anybody who happens to even look his way, begging for a car that he wants to live out of, because that's his fucking house. He gets shit-faced drunk, from all the profit he made selling coke to gay dudes, he's giving hand jobs to because he's a rent boy. And then he just drives it right, probably to a comedy club that rejected him. and then he comes, I don't, is it a homemade? Is it like a knick-knack? Did he fake a suicide watch wristband to get money? And he goes back to them, hey guys, turtle fuck up here, wouldn't want me to kill myself. I need another car.
Yeah, so that's that. And you know, for what it's worth, I know that we have some listeners, you know, in here, who do listen to Nightwave, and you know, listen, Larry. Unlike Mersh, I have no problem that you tune into Mersh's you know, into Nightwave Radio. I literally don't have any problem with people from this program watching Mersh. I don't. In fact, I almost encourage that for no other reason than, you know, I can't watch Nightwave anymore just because it's so boring. But I do appreciate those of you who have, you know, watched Nightwave and then will immediately, you know, tell me what Mersh said about me the next day. I appreciate that. But yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Check goes Mersh. Oh, don't want to do that. Let's see. Let me add this. Mersh is fat, and let's see. Mersh is fat and will live exponentially shorter than I. Well, Chuck, that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that Mersh is fat and short, and everything to do with the fact that, like, the guy literally has to take uppers in order to get out of bed every morning. And then he drinks, like, I don't know, he starts off with beer, but then by the time Nightwave rolls on, I believe that he dips into scotch or something, and not good scotch either, like really cheap stuff. And he does this every night, and that can't be good for you. So between the drugs and the alcohol poisoning, yeah. Also, Mersh wishes his. Oh, Chuck, that's not very nice. That's not very nice. I mean, it's true, but it's not very nice. You know. I mean, my dick is bigger than his too, and I'm crippled. So you know that's just extra insulting. But, you know, for him. But, yeah, for all this talk of, like, you know, big manning people and whatnot, and, you know, what did he say about me? What did he say about me? Let me pull this up. I want to get this right. You will forever be. You will ever be in the shadow of my greatness. Yeah. Well, Mersh, I'll be in the shadow of your greatness. A barely functioning drug addict, alcoholic, who literally threatened to kill himself if people didn't, you know, donate to your GoFundMe. Bravo, sir. Bravo. And yeah, porcelain is great. Let's yeah, and there's Mr. Medicare himself, quarantine Coof. Had a lot of fun. Looking forward to the documentary. Learned a whole lot of merch lore during this chat. And please, Porcelain, if you are watching, please, 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 release the whole 6-hour chat with Mr. Medicare. Please. Let's see. Okay, let's see what some of the Porcelain haters have to say. This sounded good. I've noticed all the same people coming after Ralph and are also going after Mersh. They're very good at fan fiction and seem to want to believe it real bad. Everything depends on their low IQ understanding. Hearsay and bad faith and manipulated content. Or they're both similarly entertaining for the same reasons. Like I said, folks, Mersh, and by the way, I'm glad. I will take credit for this. I know it's not like a super creative nickname, but honestly, I am proud of the fact that people are starting to use the term Gunt Jr. to refer to Mersh after I coined it, because it just fits so well. Like, if Ethan Ralph had a kid, well, I mean, a kid that he actually wanted, Mersh would be his, Mersh would be Ralph's ideal son. He's a lolcow just like his dad, but he doesn't think he's a lolcow. They both like to pick on women, They're both kind of short. They both had multiple run-ins with the law. I mean, God, there's just so much. The only thing I will say is that, like, the kill stream was objectively more successful than Nightwave Radio ever was. Well, Sam, what about RTC? Well, RTC was a joint venture. I don't really count that. Do you, folks? I don't. Let's see. Oh yeah, they're even both in self-denial about their haters. Okay, so this is what I wanted, folks. Porcelain. It's shaping to be a 2 to 3 hour long documentary. I'm in the middle of putting audio together from 10 plus hours of interviews right now, so it's going to take some time. Might be waiting on this one a little longer than usual, but it'll definitely be worth the wait. Film of the year, folks. Film of the year. And I can tell that we will be having a watch party here on the channel whenever that happens. So, yeah. I just wanted to play that for you guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Alrighty, folks. And with that in mind, I think that just does it for tonight's show. So, from all of us here at NDC Studios, thanks for tuning in. Not sure where Apex is, but be sure to wear your hoodies and your sweatshirts and your jackets if you have them. And yeah, take care and have a good night. And don't forget to tune in to Buy the Dip tomorrow. That is Whiskey's show tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. I think is the time zone. And yeah, good night, folks. God bless, and God save this great nation. Thanks for tuning in, and good night.